Good morning, crafty friends. So today we're going to get started on our best friend mini album / Bewitched. As you all know, I don't have the best friend album anymore. My daughter has already given it to her friend. But what I am doing is I'm going to be using the Bewitched paper so I can go ahead and do our 2020 Halloween album. And I thought that this album was perfect because it had so many spaces for photos. So and also it's a very easy project. Let's go ahead and get started. So here I'm going to be using the Echo Park Bewitched paper. This was from Persian Glitter Princess. Her name is Soraya. And thank you again so much. And I believe you can find this at Tuesday Morning if they still have any left. I'm sure they probably do. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you're going to need is 4 sheets of paper that are going to be 6 3/4 by 10 inches. Okay, on the 10-inch side we're going to score at a 1/2 inch and 9 1/2. Okay, then we're going to fold on those score lines and then we're going to attach our adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and do that really quick. I have already made my first 4, so I'm going to go ahead and work on this one with y'all. Okay. Now, I always use double adhesive, so I'm not really that concerned about how this turns out. I'm going to put this to the side real quick, and we're going to be working on B. So you will need 4 of these at 9 inches by 6 3/4. And we're going to grab our A again, and I'm going to rip off plastic here. And I always line it up. Oops, my finger is sticky. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and attach this. And if this is the first time you're ever watching my video, the reason why I always use tape and glue is because when you live by large bodies of water like the ocean, the humidity is awful. So the tape, no matter what brand you use, it always lifts. Okay, and then I'm going to attach this at the top. Alrighty, move it up a little smidge if I can. Okay, now Just going to burnish this in really well. And then on the top of B, I'm going to create a pocket. Let me get my paper really quick. And your paper is going to need to be 3.5 inches. By 7 3/4. You will need 4 of these. Okay, going to put it on the side that was not cut by your machine, by your paper cutter, excuse me. Oh, hold on one second. My phone folder fell. Okay, so you're going to score at 3 inches. Ooh, okay. Sorry. 3 inches. Oops, sorry. Going to score at 1/2 inch on the 7 3/4 inch side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7 1/4. Okay. So then I'm going to go ahead and fold on the score lines. You just make sure, yeah, this is all right. Okay. And then I'm going to get out my tape. And then on the corners, I'm just going to trim out a little curve here. Oops, let me do that a little closer. Okay. And then what I want to do is, again, I'm going to take it to the top of side B. I always like to line it up on my scoreboard to make sure that it's even. I'm going to take off my tape. Sorry, my glue's sticking a little bit. And, oops. Then I'm going to take it about 1/8 inch above the bottom, okay? Just to leave a little space. Okay. And now I can go ahead and burnish that in. Okay, make sure it's burnished in on the inside and wipe away any excess glue so that your pocket does not close on the wrong space. Now, at this point, I do not want you to glue these two tabs together because I'm going to be adding the paper underneath here. And probably, I can almost guarantee this because I like to save on paper, I am only going to bring it down about a 1/4 of an inch, maybe about 1/8 of an inch underneath this top right here. But I do want to go ahead and, you know what, I don't know if I'm going to round my corners right now. I don't think I am. I think I'm going to add a border at the top of this. So I will start papering it and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're going to create our flap for our pocket page. And you're going to need a sheet of cardstock that is 8.5 by 6 3/4. And then on the 8.5 inch side, you're going to score at 1/2 inch. Then we're going to add our adhesive at the bottom. Okay. Gonna rub that in. And then I'm going to turn this upside down just because it's easier that way for me. And I'm going to add my glue. And I did round my corners already. And, you know, that's just completely up to you whether you want to do that. And then I'm going to add it right to the top. Burnish that in, and if there's any adhesive, I'm going to wipe that away. And I'm just going to, burnish it in extra good. If I have any corners lifting, I'm going to go ahead and add a little more glue. And again, burnish it in really well. Okay, and now I'm going to create our page that goes on top of that, and I'll be right back. In case I forgot to mention, you're going to need 4 of these, okay? And then you're going to need 4 that are going to be 7.5 by 5.5. And then you're going to score at 7 inches or a 1/2 inch, either way. So, and then you can go ahead and score all of these, and I'm going to round my corners, and then I will be back with our magnetic flap, or magnetic belt, excuse me. For your belts, you're going to need 4 pieces of paper that are 1 inch by 4.5. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this now. And on your scoreboard, you're going to put it on the 4.5 inch side, and you're going to score at a 1/2 inch. Now, I went ahead and rounded my corners already. Or, I'm sorry, on my other ones. This is just a sample one. Okay, and then I'm going to show you your center is going to be at 3 3/8, okay? And what I like to do is, since this is 1 inch, I like to make a little mark at a 1/2 inch, and then I make a mark at 3 3/8 inches underneath here, and then I line those little lines up, and then I know that's my center. So for our magnet, what I want to do is, and I've talked about this before in the past, if you have a magnet page, you want to not put your magnet right here towards the end. You want to kind of go in the middle here, because you don't want your paper fighting your pattern paper when you put it down, and it will if you do it that way. So I'm just going to kind of center that a little bit. Add a little piece of washi tape to hold it in place. And I just get these off of eBay. Trying to think, these are, you get 200 that are 6 millimeters by 1.5 millimeters. So these are pretty tiny, but they are very powerful and they work. And then what I do is I just kind of let the magnet find itself so I know which one is the other end. And then I press down. And then now I know that my magnet goes right there. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use another piece of washi tape to hold it down. And then I'm going to go ahead and land it like this. Now, I have already papered some of this. I'm going to throw this away because I don't actually need it. Let me see. Oops, nope, not that one. Which is one that I've done. Okay, I'm going to put this one aside. And give me 1 second to get the measurements. So for your pattern paper, okay, you're going to need 4 that will go on the pocket page, which is B. No, A is the pocket page. I apologize. Oh no, B is the pocket page. I don't know what I'm saying. Don't listen to me, guys. No, what I want you to do is just follow the PDF, and that has all your directions for you. Right now, I'm just losing my mind. Okay, So anyway, you're going to need 4 sheets of pattern paper that are going to be 6 5/8 by 6 1/8 inch in height, okay? And I didn't think about this, so as you can see, I have to add another piece of paper here. I had already started papering it, but then you see these will be okay because I papered it. I haven't papered it yet, okay? So again, it's going to be 4 at 6 5/8 inches wide by 6 1/8 inches in height. Okay, and then once you add that piece of paper down, you can go ahead and glue this on top. Okay guys, so now that we've finished our signatures, we're going to go ahead and start working on our vertical waterfall, okay? And you can do this on one page or you can do this on all of them. Of course, you know that if you do it on all pages, it will add up to being able to put more photos down, you know, because otherwise you're only probably going to be able to put 2 here. But with the waterfall, you're going to be able to put plenty more. So we'll go ahead and get started in just a second. Okay, so to create your waterfall, you're going to need a 8.5 by 11 inch square sheet of paper, and you're going to put it on the 8.5 side, and you're going to put it at 6 3/4, and then you're going to cut. Now this will create 2 of these, so it just depends on how many you want in your waterfall. I don't know exactly how many yet, but I will list how many you will need to fit your page appropriately. So and then you're going to turn it, and then on your 11-inch side you're going to cut it at 4 1/4, and then again at 4 1/4. And I like to save these for like little bookmarks or something. And of course, these others I like to use for pocket folds. So just hold on to those, okay? Then what you're going to do is you're going to get out your scoreboard, and you're going to score at, sorry, let me move this over this way. Going to score at a 1/2 inch, and you're going to do that on all of your pieces, and then I'll be right back. I'm going to be doing a ribbon closure for my waterfall. So what you're going to need is a sheet of paper that's 4 1/4 by 8 7/8 inches long. Now, so I know where to line my papers up. I'm going to skip. Oh, I can't believe I just, oh, here it is. Hello. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to like turn this crooked, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to go every 1/2 inch. So it's going to be 1 3/4, so 1/4 inch, 1 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 2 1/4. And you don't have to score these at all. I just do this so that when I'm lining it up, it stays straight. So really, they're not going to see that because it'll be covered up, obviously. So I'm going to start with, I think, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, and so 1 2 3 4. Okay, so 2 3/4. So again, 1/4 inch, 1 3/4, 1 1/4, 1 3/4, 2 1/4, 2 3/4. All right, and then I will go ahead and attach these. So give me 1 second because I want to write these measurements down. Okay guys, so I have added my tape, and I used 1/4 inch, and the reason why I did that, you could use 1/2 inch, but sometimes I've noticed that it will hang over a little bit, and I just really didn't want to mess with it, so I chose to use 1/4 inch. What I'm going to do is, of course, you know, I've spoken about this before, because I live by the ocean, it's very humid, and so I use a little bit of glue and score tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add, again, here, I don't know if you can see this, but I have my score lines right here. And I always kind of do mine upside down. I know that's strange. And the other thing is I always kind of line it up so that I can see what I'm doing. And this is just to help ensure that this is going to be straight. So I'm just going to go ahead and add it right. Let me get my glasses on so I can make sure I can see. Oh, I get my light going on here too. Okay. So here's my 1/4 inch, and I'm going to go ahead and add it straight to that score line. Okay, so that I am covering it up. And I'm going to make sure that it's in place and it looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to burnish that in real quick. And if any glue is seeping out the bottom, which it's not this time, normally I would clean that up. And then you just continue adding each of your sheets. And I'm pretty sure that we only have enough room for 5. That's okay. And add a little bit of glue here. And make sure that I keep it straight. Burnish it in. And I just keep going. I have 2 more left. So I'm always lining it up along here too, so that I can make sure that it is straight before I press down. Okay, so just if that kind of helps you too. Waterfalls are always my frenemy. I love waterfalls because I can use them and have a lot of photos, but on the other hand, they're like demon spawn when they do not want to line up correctly. Okay, get this on here. Oops. And again, burnish that in. Let's see, I saw a little glue on that one. Guess I got that one extra juicy. Okay, so what you're going to do is on the back, you're going to make a mark at 2 1/8 inches. I'm just going to grab a little pencil here. Okay, and then I'm going to flip it around. And again, I'm going to mark it at 2 1/8 inches. Now this is where I can add my ribbon. Of course, if you're not using ribbon and you're using magnet instead, you could probably make this a little bit shorter, but I think this looks good the way it is. And again, you can always add another photo right here. So let me go ahead and add my ribbon, and then we will be right back because we're going to attach it to the back of our signature. Okay, so right here on our little pumpkin side. Okay, so there is one thing I wanted to point out. I will go around the border of this with my tape, and then on the inside I'm going to use glue. I just wanted to mention that really quick, you know, just as kind of like a way to make sure that all my edges are down and nothing is gonna lift. Okay, I'm just going right over my ribbon here. No big deal. Oh, and by the way, I did add a little bit of glue along with my tape to hold the ribbon in place. Definitely I don't want my ribbon slipping out because then I have no way to get it back in there. Okay. Okay, so my center of this is at 3 3/8. So I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of chalk here because I can just wipe it off. Not a big deal. Okay, and I'm going to go down here. Three 3/8. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, again, my center for this is at 2 1/8. Okay, and again, I'm going to use a piece of chalk just so I can line it up. Okay. And now I've got my ribbon in the way there. I'm just going to pretty much guesstimate that that's pretty close. Okay, and now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and just tie this just to get it out of my way when I'm putting it down. Oops. All right. And then we'll need to undo that. But for now, we just want the ribbons out of the way when we're placing this down. Okay. If you have any tape hanging over, push it back onto the paper so you don't have any weird little things hanging out. And now at this point, I can go ahead and add my glue. Again, I'm going to add it everywhere. Make sure you have plenty in the center there. Make sure this is upside up. And I'm going to make sure that this is upside up. And I'm just going to line it up right here at the edge of this paper. And here. Okay, now I can undo this. Whoops. And I can go ahead and start burnishing it in. And I'm going to do this just to make sure that it's completely down. Okay, and then I can go ahead and kind of rub that little mark off, okay? And now I have my waterfall. So what you're going to need, if you're going to go ahead and add paper to each of the waterfalls, you're going to need 10 sheets of cardstock that are going to be 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. That will leave a 1/8 inch border for your photo if you're using a 4 by 6. Also, I'm not going to paper everything because I don't have 2 sets of this paper. I only have 1. So I'm just going to do the top here and then add photos to the rest. Now it's up to you. You can add a waterfall to every page. I think I'm going to add one to every other page. So 2 pages are going to have the vertical waterfall and then 2 are going to have just this blank side so that I can do some 4 by 6s. And then we'll be back.